so fresh. Let me have a walk in the beach.
Hi Uncle, good morning.
Oh, isn't it Tom? Oh, happy to see you, my dear boy.
It's my pleasure, Uncle.
How is life during lockdown? Are you learning your lessons? Isn't your school starts online classes?
Yes, Uncle, they have started. And it's so great to learn things through online. All our teachers are posting videos and it's really good.
That's good to hear. During our school days, there is nothing like that. Now you people are so blessed to have classes like that.
Yes, Uncle, really. But I wanted to ask you a doubt. That's why I thought of meeting you.
Go ahead. What is your doubt? Happy to clear your doubts, especially in learning.
I know that, Uncle. Yesterday, our teacher taught us a lesson about mineral nutrition.
Oh, mineral nutrition? That's fine. It's the process of absorption and utilization of various minerals by plants. And those minerals and elements will be utilized for the plants for their growth and development. It's a great concept.
How do they absorb minerals? Uncle, can you please explain me that?
Sure, my boy. When we pour water to the plant, the minerals get dissolved with water, and when the plants are watered through root hair, these minerals will get into the plant directly by passive way or by active way.
Yes, Uncle. I remember this active and passive absorption of water, what our teacher taught us during the last lesson.
That's great. There are two different kinds of elements generally being absorbed.
If I guess, they would be the major and minor elements, Uncle?
You are exactly right, my boy. Major elements or macro elements or macronutrients are the elements which are required by the plant in a large quantity.
Yes, I remember what our teacher taught. And minor elements are the elements which are required in a lesser amount. Right, Uncle?
Ah, you are a smart boy. That's why. You know that, right? Then what is your doubt?
I remember some elements like potassium, calcium, carbon, hydrogen. So these elements are required by the plant in a larger quantity and we call them as macro elements. And some of the elements like copper, molybdenum, zinc, manganese and boron are essential but still required in a lesser quantity, so we call them as minor elements. I remember that, but still, how do they find it out? How to know that these elements are major and these elements are minor? Aren't they going to tell about this to anyone? Plants won't talk, then how do they know it? That's my doubt, Uncle.
Ha 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 ha. That's so great. Have you ever heard of testing in the lab? So in the lab, the scientists are going to test the plant. They will be using the dry weight method. They used to take plants which are dried and then they will be doing chemical analysis to know the amount of elements found in that dry matter.
Oh, Uncle, did I ask a question like a stupid?
No doubts are considered as a stupid doubt. You are clever. That's why you are thinking like that. I love to answer your questions, whatever they are.
Thank you, Uncle. Thank you. That's why I prefer our doubts to you. So, in the lab, for the chemical test, if there is any parameter for that?
Yes, sure. If the dry weight of the matter shows minimum of more than 1 milligram per gram of dry matter, that element is considered as a macronutrient. If it is below that 1 milligram per gram of dry matter, that nutrient is considered as minor.
Oh, it's nice to hear that. Thank you for clearing one great doubt of mine.
A apart from these two macro and micro elements, there are some more elements was also found like aluminium, silicon, gallium, selenium, and still we don't know what is the use of those elements in the plants. But still, scientists found that.
Really? Will we get gold also from plants?
It may also be precious, but we don't know what is the use of those elements. All these elements get into the plant, and we know about the use of few elements.
Uncle, tell me more about that, especially about their functions, please.
Yes, sure, my boy. I am going to. Shall we have a walk? Yes. I'll tell you about the functions. Based on their functions, these essential elements are categorized into four major groups. Some elements are majorly found in their biomolecules. They became the component of their biomolecules.
Is it like carbon in cellulose or carbon, hydrogen, oxygen in cellulose?
Yes, my dear. Then there are some elements which are there in the components of energy-related chemical components.
When you said energy, I thought of ATP, the adenosine triphosphate molecule.
You are right, exactly. In ATP, apart from carbon, hydrogen, oxygen, phosphorus is also there. There is another example, like you can say magnesium in chlorophyll. Then the third category talks about molecules or minerals found in activation or inhibition of enzymes in plants.
Oh, to activate enzymes also some molecules are necessary?
Yes, sure. Some of the elements, some of these enzymes, do you know that all enzymes are proteins? Some of these enzymes get activated by the addition or by the deletion of some mineral elements.
Can you say an example for that, uncle?
Yes, I can. Magnesium ion is actually a very commonly found ion in plants. Have you ever heard of an enzyme called rubisco?
Did you mean the ribulose bisphosphate carboxylase oxidase, the most abundant enzyme in any plant?
Yes, exactly the same. You are really brilliant.
Yes, uncle. I have learned about that in my 10th standard.
Yes, there is one more enzyme, as like rubisco. This enzyme usually found in dry-loving plants, and that enzyme is phosphoenol pyruvate carboxylase. So these two enzymes require Mg ion, Mg2+ ion for their activation.
Oh, that's great to know.
Zinc is responsible for the activation of alcohol dehydrogenase enzyme, and molybdenum is responsible for nitrogenase enzymes during nitrogen metabolism.
Uncle, now I could remember some of the elements are necessary for changing the osmotic potential of a cell too, right?
Yes, exactly. That's what the fourth category. Can you say all four categories that I have said that now?
Let me try, uncle.
It's not to test you, my dear boy. If you couldn't recall the four categories, I need to say that to you again. That's why I'm asking.
Yes, uncle. The first one, elements which are categorized in the structural element of a cell, like carbon and carbohydrate. And the second category is the elements which are found in energy-related compounds, like phosphorus and ATP. The third category talks about elements necessary or minerals necessary to activate or inhibit enzymes, as like magnesium, zinc and molybdenum for various enzymes. And the fourth category is to change the osmotic potential of a cell. Am I right, uncle?
I know you are such a clever boy.
Thank you, uncle. Uncle, you told me some of the elements like gold may also be absorbed into the plant. You didn't say gold, but still, you said about gallium, selenium sort of elements. How do we know the essentiality of the elements which are absorbed into the plant? Is it also being done by dry weight method like what you said before?
No, the essentiality of an element can be judged by some other criteria.
What is it, Uncle? Can you tell me about that too? Am I disturbed?
No, never. I'm happy to tell you about that too. There are three criteria to judge the essentiality of any element. The first criteria is this element must be absolutely essential for the growth of the plant and development of the plant. Think about carbon. It's highly essential. Think about the protein or carbohydrate or any fat molecule. Without carbon, nothing is possible, right? So like this element or this nutrient has to be the most predominant one, unique one in the growth element of the plant. Understood?
Yes, Uncle. First criteria is about its absolute necessity, right?
Yes, dear. And the second category or criteria is this element must be very specific and no other element has to be able to replace this. The same, like I said as an example of carbon, right? Instead of carbon, if there are enough supply of nitrogen, will it be able to replace that? What do you think? Nah, right. So that uniqueness or specificity has to be there with the element to categorize that under necessary element.
Understood, Uncle. It's so easy to understand.
And here comes the third criteria. This element has to directly involve into the metabolism of the plant, in its structural molecule, or in its biochemical processes. It has to directly involve into it. It's not like they are going to trigger something. It's not like that. Directly, this element has to go incorporated into the metabolism of the plant. Then we need to call those nutrients as the essential one. So these are the three criteria to categorize elements as essential one.
Oh, it's so good. Now I understood that this is so easy that how to make these elements essential or non-essential. Thank you, Uncle. Thank you so much.
I will tell you more about these elements. But now, it's time for me to go attend a call. One of my friends will be calling today. I'm having a Zoom call with him. I'm going to talk to him after a long time. It'd be nice to talk to friends often. So I need to go talk to him. You do one thing. After you go back home, read the content, what is given in your book connected with what I told you. And then come back to me today or tomorrow. Or shall we meet on Friday? Come to my home. We will sit and we will talk regarding the rest of this part, mineral nutrition, right? Happy?
Yes, Uncle. I do want to go actually. I forgot about that. As you're talking about mineral nutrition, I was interestingly listening to you. But I need to go get my classes done. I'll be coming on Friday, Uncle. Thank you.
Yes, my kid. You should come on Friday.